Tony Morgan suggested that the Mckees were acting strangely around Charlotte May. I heard Theodore return home earlier this evening, but didn't manage to get a glimpse. Charlotte May is counting on me to find her, but so far I've drawn a blank. Perhaps the Mckees are innocent. Only time will tell. Mr. Morgan is writing missing posters by hand. He's been there all evening. Annabelle and Theodore seemed normal enough when we spoke last night. By their account, they didn't see much at all. Why would Mr. Morgan ask me to watch them? He seems quite eager to talk. Theodore looks unhappy about I don't know what. He's pacing back and forth. It seems heated. I still have no idea what the problem is. Perhaps this is what Mr. Morgan was talking about. And now, Annabelle has seen something just out of my view. Whatever it is, she's horrified by it. What on earth is it? What are you thinking, Annabelle? What can you see? She's got a knife. Jesus, she's going to... No. She wants Theo to use it. He doesn't know which one to use. Theo, don't do it. Whatever it is, take pause of yourself. Theodore is carrying the mallet. Whatever is in that pantry, it's alive. It can't be Charlotte May. Can it? Theo, who are you talking to? Is that a practice swing? Dear God. What have I just witnessed? Some time has passed since I saw Theo hit something with a mallet. I didn't actually see anything. No proof. I have no evidence at all. Annabelle is back at the door.
Okay, hurry. Go. Go!
What in God's name?
Shit.
What are you doing?
Well, if you would help me.
I'm not touching that thing.
That thing was your idea.
My idea.
Oh, no.
Christ. Get it out of here.
What the hell do you think I'm doing?
Hurry up! Mr. Morgan.
Hello, Annabelle.
Lovely evening.
Yes, I suppose so. Please, if you don't mind, I have something...
It's just all so sad, isn't it?
Please, I really do need to be going.
I'm so sorry, of course.
It's fine, Annabelle.
If there's anything I can do, you won't hesitate to ask?
Damn it, what should I do? Catherine asked me not to get involved. But this... It's not over until it's over. I think I need to pay the Mckees a personal call. I've barely slept at all. I can't fully explain what I observed last night, and I can't shake the image of Charlotte May in the Mckees' pantry, lying there, helpless. I'll need my bag if I'm going to gather any real evidence. Now, to find out what the Mckees were doing in that pantry. If the Mckees really did kill Charlotte May last night, then there must be some evidence left in their pantry. I wonder if there's anything left to find at all. What if I'm too late? Bleach. The Mckees have been busy.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. McKee. We spoke a few days ago.
Yes, please call me Annabelle.
Annabelle, of course. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get around to you.
That's fine. I'm sorry, how is it I can help, Mr. Conway?
Well, it's all a bit sensitive, I'm afraid. I wondered if I might have a word in private, if you would.
Well,
Mrs. McKee, Annabelle, I'd rather not state my purpose out here in the hallway where any one of your neighbors might be listening. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course. Why don't you step inside for a moment?
Excellent idea. I promise not to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you have your hands full.
So, what's the purpose of all this, Mr. Conway? I hope it's not about what we... Well, why don't you get to it?
Of course. Well, it's actually quite simple. I'm sure you've heard that I was once a private investigator. Well, nonetheless, Mr. Morgan has asked me if I would look into everyone who knew Charlotte May.
I see. And so you've come to look at us?
Look, let me be straight. I've been an investigator my entire life, and I have a sense, about people, you might say.
Is that so?
I don't think you or your husband have anything to hide. In fact, this might be a waste of time altogether, but I think it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease if I ask some basic questions anyway. What do you say?
Well, however we can help. As long as it's not too long is all.
Oh, no, of course not. All I need you to do is tell me, in your own words, what you did on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
Right. But I thought you...
Before you begin, I'm sorry to ask, but would you mind if I used your lavatory?
No, not at all. It's right behind you.
Thank you. And please, Annabelle, you look worried. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it. She's lying. It's written all over her. Time to find out why. It's a doctor's note addressed to Annabelle. Now what do we have here?
Mr. Conway? Can I offer you a cup of tea?
Yes, 2 sugars. I thought she'd never leave. A tram ticket. Annabelle clearly didn't use this tram ticket. I apologize. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were going to tell me what you were doing on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
I've been thinking about it, and there's not much to say.
Literally anything would help.
Well, I remember it clearly. I think everyone here knows exactly where they were. It was so shocking. I'd made Theo his tea in the afternoon at about 3, and wrapped it up for him to have later. He was working all day over at Levy's garage, and performing later that night. I went to the shops at some point, I think. I didn't see Charlotte May at all that day, and I was out of town for most of the night. I think the last time I saw her was on the Wednesday. She was playing outside between her homeschooling, as I recall.
I'll stop you there if you don't mind. As interesting as it is to know what you were doing leading up to the event, I think it might be more beneficial to talk about what you and your husband were doing whilst Charlotte May was being taken.
Right. I see. What time was that?
You don't remember clearly. I was sitting in my flat at the time. 10 o'clock is when I first noticed something was happening. I had a good view from my window. I imagine you'd have a good view from your kitchen window also. Perhaps even your pantry.
Actually, Mr. Conway, I'm sorry. I feel awfully uncomfortable talking about this, without Theo here. I think it's best I don't answer anything he might object to.
You're right. I completely agree. He usually takes his break around now, does he not?
Perhaps.
Would it be possible for you to go and get him so that we might continue the conversation?
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Conway. In fact, I think I'd feel better if we ended the conversation here, if it's all the same to you.
No, you're right. If you don't feel it appropriate, then best not to bother him.
Thank you.
I was hoping to clear it all up today, you see. I'd hate to have to bother you tomorrow or the day after, or even the day after that. It's not in my character to be a nuisance. However, I did promise Mr. Morgan. Perhaps I'll return later on.
Wait. If it's not going to take too long, I could fetch him now, and we could resolve the matter.
Mrs. McKee, if you would do that for me, it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease, I'm sure of it.
Christ. Okay, well, I think it's best you come with me.
I fear I'd only slow you down. The stairs, you see. No, I'll wait here for your return.
Fine, just wait here.
Now, to get that key down. It's moving. Almost there. Come on. Well, that was easier than I thought. Theo's room, no doubt. I'm not getting in there without a key. Oh, it's locked. Charlotte, were you in here? Give me something. Nothing useful. Looks as though they scrubbed the place clean last night. Please let me be wrong. Bleached head to toe. I'm too late. There's nothing left to see. Oh, they're not back yet. Then there's still time to search the flat. I wonder what was last written on this notepad. There's a note in the fireplace on the other side. Locked. How does one open a piano front? Music sheets. Presumably Theo's songs. He's a slob. Seems to be a list of medicines. Theo has a sister back home somewhere.
Annabelle, it's Shirley.
Damn. It's Annabelle's sister.
Look, if you're in there, I want to say sorry about the other night. Are you there? I love you, Annie. You know that, don't you? Everything I say, I say it because I want to protect you. Anyway, I'm posting the key back through the door. I love you.
They have an allotment. Good idea. The police are still here. I hope Catherine doesn't see me like this. You can tell a lot about a person from their bedroom. This is clearly Annabelle's space. blue mist. Looks brand new. Surely Theo's wage can't pay for all this. It needs something to wind it. Shirley and Annabelle are close sisters. I don't know what they're currently arguing about, but they seem to love each other very much. Good to know. They had a view of Mr. Morgan's home. They could have easily seen Charlotte May every day. More bleach. Annabelle is obsessed with cleaning. Absolutely spotless. You'd never even know a mechanic lived here. Smells fresh. The whole place is clean. I spoke too soon. What on earth is inside? is Annabelle having an affair? Clean bedding. This is it. The mallet I saw Theo use last night. I've got you. Did you hit Charlotte May with this? Damn, the Mckees are coming back.
Well then, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, just stall him. He's been in there for ages.
Why did you leave him then?
Do you really want me to go through that right now?
Okay. Just don't say anything that he might...
He might what?
Well, you know how you are.
Do you really think I'm that stupid? Now shh. Let's just go inside.
I'm waiting for you.
Hello, Mr. Conway.
Hello, Theodore.
Anne says Tony Morgan asked you to investigate his daughter's disappearance?
That's right, but I'm sure she's also told you that it's merely a formality.
I was just telling Mr. Conway he's wasting his time, because we don't know anything about it.
Aren't you retired, Mr. Conway?
Well, I'm not here officially, Mr. McKee, just as a friend of Tony Morgan's. But I do appreciate you making the time.
Well, like Anne said, we had nothing to do with Charlotte May, so I don't know how I could help. And I don't have long, I'm afraid. Mr. Levy isn't very happy with me stepping out of work.
I appreciate it all the same.
Well, shall we move into the living room?
Of course. Please, after you.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Now, please, I'd like to know what you were doing at the time of the attack, if you wouldn't mind. Maybe start at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.? Well, I was at a gig that night, so I was playing down at the Sugar Ducks men's club. Harold, my boss, hasn't paid me for a few months, so I've had to start making money elsewhere. I remember I got home around 10:40, I think. I went straight into my music room. I had a song in my head I just had to get out. So nothing to do with Charlotte May.
I take it you play an instrument.
Yes, a few actually.
Does anyone here at Dahlia View ever go to watch you play?
Not really, no. Is there something wrong? I don't see how this relates to Charlotte May.
If I'm honest, it would have helped if you'd had a witness to your alibi.
My alibi? I'm telling you where I was that night is all. I thought you were just asking some questions for Tony Morgan.
Yes, of course. But you should probably try to think hard about what you might say if the police decide to come and ask. For example, if they asked what you were doing last night, you might say, I was having dinner with my wife, or I was... What were you doing last night?
I was playing at the Sugar Ducks.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if the police do come around, it sounds like you have nothing to worry about, Mr. McKee.
Shall I carry on, Mr. Conway?
Please do. You were saying you'd entered your music room.
Anyway, I think I was in my music room all the way up until...
I'll be with you both in a second. Don't wait for me.
Okay. I was in my room until Anne called me out. She heard a smash or something. Anne was visiting a friend that night, but I think she was back just before me. And I think she was in her bedroom. So by all accounts, she's the one who heard it.
You didn't hear the smash yourself?
No, there aren't any windows in my music room, and I was writing a song at my piano.
So Annabelle heard it and came in to get you?
Mm-hmm.
You say you heard a smash or something. Could you think back and tell me exactly what happened?
Anne came in. She said, something's going on outside, that I should take a look. That was when I realized she was home, and...
And that's when you came out and looked?
That's right.
And you say you didn't know Annabelle was home yet?
Like I said, I couldn't hear anything. What with my music.
So she could have been home longer?
I suppose, but I don't think she was.
And what did you see once you were outside?
Tony Morgan, laying on the floor. All our neighbors taking a look. Then the police came.
Nothing else? Not Charlotte May, not the kidnapper?
I spoke to you briefly.
Fair enough. Please, as you were saying.
So anyway, it couldn't have been Anne or me, you see, because we weren't here most of the night. And in any case, the Sugar Ducks are a good 20-minute walk away. People would have noticed if I was missing from my gig, wouldn't you think? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is this all you want to know? What I was doing that night? Nothing else?
You say it couldn't have been Annabelle?
No. She was out of town that night. She'd already paid for her tram ticket, so I said I didn't mind.
Really? And she used the tram ticket?
I don't understand.
You say she was out of town for most of the night. Could she have been here longer than you thought?
Anne didn't have anything to do with Charlotte May.
Well, anything is possible.
No. I'm sorry, it's not. You don't know Anne.
So she's not capable of such a thing. Is she capable of deceiving you?
That's my wife you're talking about. I'm not answering that.
You're right. I apologize, Ed. I've overstepped my bounds. I promise you I meant nothing by it. I have to ask these things for Tony Morgan, but if you say that's not her, then I trust you, Theodore.
It's fine.
Please, if you don't mind, could you continue with the night's events?
Sorry about that. I was making sure that things were, where we left them.
I was just saying that Mr. Conway is wasting his time, because we were both out of town for most of the night. Isn't that right, my love? You were at a friend's, weren't you? You already paid for a tram ticket. That's why you couldn't come to the gig.
Well, actually, Theo, I wanted to talk to you about that, but it can wait till later.
Talk to me about what? Tell him you're out of town.
Don't you have to get back to work?
Actually, I think I do have to go, Mr. Conway. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. You'll excuse me.
Thank you for your time, Theodore. So you paid for your tram ticket? I wonder what good a ticket is if you don't end up using it. Perhaps you forgot where you were that night.
Mr. Conway, I think you've more than outstayed your welcome. I don't know why I agreed to talk to you in the first place. You must think me awfully dense if you think I don't know what you were doing while I was gone. I don't want to see or hear from you again. Do you understand? This is a job for the police, not some old has-been playing detective.
What I was doing? Why don't we take a second to talk about what you were doing last night? What was in that rug, Annabelle? Why was Theo carrying it to the boot of his car?
Get out. Now.
I think that went as well as could have been expected. From talking to the Mckees, it seems apparent that they were both in Dahlia View at the time Charlotte May was taken. Annabelle and Theo were clearly hiding something. I observed them getting rid of a rolled-up rug and saw Theo use a mallet for God only knows what. I can't currently prove it relates to Charlotte May, and a few questions still remain.